Hey guys, Dr. Kurt here, and I want to talk about food allergy sensitivity testing. It's a question I get quite often as far as, hey, do you do this or can you do this? And the answer is yes, I can do that. Now the question, do I do it? I don't do it very often anymore. It's going lower and lower and lower on my priority chain to figure out what's going on. So let me explain this. So when you have a food allergy or sensitivity testing, what is being tested is your antibody, your immune system expression against that food or allergen. And so with an allergy, it's mostly in the form of this IgE. This could be a blood test, this could be the scratch test, those types of things. The food sensitivity, so more of a delayed response, it could be up to 36 hours, 72 hours, that's going to be an IgG response. And so a lot of times what will happen is people have come in knowing, hey, if I eat certain foods, I have a bad reaction to it. They get gas, they get bloating, maybe some brain fog, fatigue, whatever, things like that. And if it's an immediate response, then it's an IgE response. They have more of an allergy to it. And the problem with that is when someone comes into me already have eliminating those foods, they're like, I want to get sensitivity testing. And so what they're asking for is IgG testing. And the problem is, when we get those results back, when we did quite a bit, the foods that were on the good list, like, hey, you could eat this food, were usually the foods that they've already eliminated. So they've already reacted to these foods. They know they don't respond well to them. They've eliminated to them. Their immune system doesn't react to it anymore. And so on the good list, the green list, they're like, hey, you could eat as much as this want. So it could be gluten, and it could be dairy, and it could be like all these things. On the bad list, the foods that you you're not agreeing with your body, end up being on this IgG list, are the foods that they have been eating, that they know they don't react to. And so it just creates this huge confusion of the foods I react to, I've eliminated, this test tells me those are good to go. And then the test that I do eat, knowing they're safe, is telling me I should stop eating them altogether. So what do I eat? And so the problem is this IgE and IgG is more of a reaction response. For every action, there's going to be a reaction. And so when we look at a different aspect of the immune system called the IgA, more specifically, secretory IgA, this is a response within your gut tube. So if you're in stress mode, you have signals that tell your gut, I need you to clamp down. I need this barrier to be strong. There's potential that you're going to inhale something, ingest something. I don't want that to wreak havoc while you're trying to run away. So we're going to keep that quarantined. Now, when you get to safety, when the whatever scenario calms down, you may puke, you may diarrhea, you may have some sort of response to it. But this is more of a silent. So you can think of the S as a silent. You're not going to notice this is happening because usually when you notice those things, that slows you down. And you don't want to slow down if you're running from a bear. And so I put more weight in this response. And so IgA. So this is going to be within your gut. These are going to be within your bloodstream. And so it's getting more to the root cause of a gut issue. But that's just one part of the picture. If it's low, you could say, hey, we don't have enough response, so things just leaking through. If it's high, we have an over response, and so we're just inflamed all over the place. So that adds more context into these things up here. Like I'll have people come in with an IgE scratch test, and they're allergic to every potential weed and pollen and all that stuff. And they're like, I can't even go outside. I'm like, well, that's a false positive. Like if you were really allergic to all those things, you would have been dead as a child. So with this SIgA within the gut, if this is appropriate, then you are more protected. Now, what's going to give those signals to it? What's going to give more context to that IgA? And so here's some other tests you may consider when looking, if you were considering food allergy or food sensitivity testing. So another one could be zonulin. And zonulin is that signal that tells that gut barrier to open and close. That tells you more if you have a leaky gut type of thing. Now, IgA will be affected by your adrenals. So you have a combo of cortisol and DHA, in those right ratios, that's what's going to give that gut response a more calm response. When those become imbalanced, that's when we start getting more zonulin aspect of it. Or you could look at why this one's up. So things like gluten, that's why I'm not a fan of it, even if you don't sensitive to it. Or you have infections. And so you'll see another lab marker called LPS, and that can be an immune response based on bacteria. So I think if you're going to put your money towards, or if you're interested in food sensitivity, food allergy testing, I would look at more your adrenal response dictating secretory IgA, or look at potential gut infections or digestive markers that are now regulating zonulin. And so instead of chasing foods that are pretty much going to change, especially if you're not doing anything to strengthen that barrier, and just by removing it doesn't mean it's repaired, then I would put my money and put my, effort into quantifying these other things, opposed to just chasing around food sensitivities that you're going to have to eliminate and introduce and eliminate and introduce and create, a longer process. And so if you have more questions about food sensitivity, food allergy testing, please reach out. hello@drkurtperkins.com or 602-4545. Hopefully it's clarified some confusion. See you later.